The trade deadline has come and gone, so let's go over the remaining trades that went down before the 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time trade deadline. The White Sox traded Jake Burger to the Marlins in exchange for pitching prospect Jake Elder. Now, Jeff Passan also tweeted out that the Marlins made another move as they got a big bat, that being Josh Bell, from the Guardians in exchange for Jean Segura and infield prospect Khalil Watson. Another Passan tweet is concerning the D-backs as they acquire Tommy Pham from the Mets. Mark Feinsand tweeted out that the Rangers got their catcher that they desperately needed, and that is Austin Hedges from the Pirates. Now, that was a name earlier on that wasn't look like it was going to be moved. It looked like the Pirates were going to hold on to Hedges, but things change, and according to Feinsand, around 5:30, the Pirates and the Rangers pulled the trigger. Also, a Passan tweet said that the New York Yankees got their big reliever, their guy that will help them get to their 28th World Series championship, and that is, of course, Ken Middleton from the White Sox. Brian Cashman is doing great things to secure his job there over in the Bronx. Now, the Padres acquired right-hander Scott Barlow from the Royals. So the Royals gave up their closer. They gave up two closers this year, and Chapman, and now Scott Barlow is gone from KC. So KC is left with no bullpen, but hey, they're in the cellar anyways. It does not matter. And the Padres do get a little bit of help to stabilize the back end of their bullpen. Now let's go over the trades that did not go down. Dylan Cease was not traded at all from the White Sox. They held on to him, but he stayed on the south side of Chicago. And the biggest deal not to happen, of course, involves my Detroit Tigers. According to Jeff Passan, the Dodgers and the Tigers had a deal in place for Eduardo Rodriguez, but Rodriguez invoked his no-trade clause. He had a no-trade clause when he signed the contract with the Tigers, and he only had 10 teams on that no-trade clause list, and one of them was the Dodgers. Apparently, he wanted to go, if anywhere, to the East Coast to be closer to family. You know, am I glad they did not trade him? Am I mad that they did not trade him as a Tigers fan? I am one of the few who do not mind that they traded him. I mean, to be honest, look, I know he signed under the other regime of Al Avila, the worst general manager in the history of sports. But again, the owner signed the checks. He approved that deal at the time. He approved that deal. They wanted him. They liked him. He's doing good. Again, he signed a 5-year deal. Yes, he can opt out after this season, which is a distinct possibility. They could lose him. But, you signed him. You liked him. He's finally doing well. He had that right to veto it. And he said no. And, am I mad at him? Yeah, I don't know. There was a good point made by Dan O'Dowd on MLB Network saying that, the Tigers respected Erod last year, gave him grace, gave him the leeway in going back home to Venezuela or wherever the hell he's from. Where I think he actually just went to Miami. But I think he went out of the country as well. To go, deal with some personal issues. What those were, we have no idea. He was MIA for the entire season. So, and then he came back and he was decent, and now this year he's been really good for the most part, and his trade value was high. I knew they were going to wait to the last minute to see what JV and Scherzer and all the other guys did, where they went to. Basically, whoever did not get JV and Max were going to turn to the Tigers and pivot to Eduardo Rodriguez or Michael Lorenzen. That's what they did. They had a deal in place. Apparently, according to my dad, who was listening to the radio, he was saying that on the radio, local radio station here in Detroit, they were saying that the package was great. Oh, it was amazing. I guess they had in place for Erod to come back to Detroit. A bunch of prospects, and it was a good deal, and Scott Harris was making the moves, and it was set. It was done. Just had to approve the move, being Erod, and he didn't, and the deal fell through. Now, do I believe them people at 97 won the ticket? No, because they don't know half the things that I do. Let's just be honest. They are not informed. They reported that Michael Lorenzen was dealt to the Orioles for like a bunch of prospects, top tier prospects. And that tweet was sent out by a fake account, a guy pretending to be John Paul Morosi. So that tells you a lot about the guys at 97 won the ticket. I'm just saying, from a personal standpoint, that's ridiculous. I don't believe him. If you're a Dodger fan, I understand. But you know what? I don't think Erod would be that great for y'all. To be honest, I think if he did get traded, I think he would implode to whoever he went to. Please like, please comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys later.